Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of the Tim and Jim Show. I am Tim Sohn here in the woods in Northeast Pennsylvania, and I clearly need more coffee today. And I'm excited to be here for another episode with my trusty co-host and friend, Jim Fuse. Take it away, my friend.
And good afternoon. And of course, to Russ, our guest, good morning. Russ is all the way in Salem, Oregon. And so I'm here in Marietta, Georgia, getting ready for Hurricane Zeta to come in later tonight with what's left of it.
Oh, no. I didn't hear about this.
We'd be talking about the Greek alphabet, right? In storm terms. But
shout out to the Greeks.
That's right. Really excited to have Russ. And so Russ, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, I am definitely long-winded, so I could tell you a lot about myself, but I'll try to shorten it up and tell you that I am an inspiration specialist, coach, and motivational speaker. I am a podcaster, as Jim knows quite well, and also an author of the newly released book, Befuddled, Live the Life You Choose. And so it's an encouraging, uplifting book with some really good ways to actionable steps to help you live the life you really want and that you want to choose. So I live in Salem, Oregon. I have a beautiful, gorgeous wife of almost 33 years. I have 2 adult children, a 30-year-old daughter and a 27-year-old son. And my son's covering the southern, he's down in California. So we've got the 2 corners east for you guys. Well, not corners, but kind of. And now we're covering the West Coast here. But anyway, so yeah, I've worked in sales and marketing for over 30 plus years. And with COVID, I made, ready, the big pivot. Love that word.
Yes.
And yeah, so I've pivoted and I'm doing my own business and it's fabulous. Should have done it years ago.
That's amazing. Awesome. That's amazing. And we want to thank everyone who's tuning in. Thank you so much for joining us. Linda Ray is here. She says, "What up, gents?" Linda and Trevor are also saying, "Jim, no, be safe with that hurricane."
Yeah, it's a little weird. I thought I got away from it by moving from the coast of North Carolina to Georgia, but I guess
I think they're following you, Jim.
In a strange year with storms, especially in the Gulf, and I know our friends Chad and Laney have had a lot more storms than they probably expected down there in eastern Texas. But so Russ, this is great that you're releasing this book. And so Tim, why don't you start with question 1 and let's get into this.
Yeah, absolutely. So Russ, what inspired you to write this book anyway?
Well, that is a great question because I had really gotten inspiration to do what I'm doing kind of as a side hustle, a little side business. I was a sales and marketing manager for a large corporation. And so I started the groundwork. And then when I made the big pivot, when COVID happened, I had really started the groundwork for the book, but really not dove into it. So then I went full steam ahead. Really what my inspiration is, it's the kind of book that is just really me. I love to encourage people. I love to connect with people. I'm all about connection and connecting. And I think that's so important in life, in personal and business and everything. Connecting is what drives our life. And so this book, I really wanted to encourage people. It's full of stories about me and then also ideas about what people can do in their life based on things that I've done. I know that we're not all the same, but it really gives some good ideas. And it's just fun. So that's really what got me going. I never thought I'd be an author. So super excited. I actually did it and I got it done. So there you go.
Congratulations. That's incredible.
How long was the journey to write your book, Russ? I mean, did it take like years or months or days? Maybe you're one of those people that could, just whip it out in a couple of days.
I think I wrote most of it in about 6 months, actually. I had started the ideas before that, but I really hadn't done much. Really this whole journey is really a God thing for me. I just was meant to do what I'm doing now, and being working for another company and really having all the responsibilities of a team and all the things that I was doing previously. I just really didn't have time to do my side business and spend any time with my beautiful wife and my family. So this was really meant to be. So when the change happened, it opened up the door. It gave me all kinds of space and time to do these incredible things I've been able to do. And so, yeah, probably about 6 months, I wrote most of it. I'd originally planned to have it out by the end of the year, but my wife said, come on, you can do it. You can get it done sooner than that. So I took her encouragement and did it.
Now, where is the book going to be available when you release it? Is it going to be on Amazon as an example?
Yeah, it'll be on everything. It's currently on pre-sale on Amazon,
Okay.
Barnes and Noble, all those kind of things. But you can't
Awesome.
actually get it yet. It's an ebook form and regular book form. Currently, the only way to get a book is through me. I actually, through my pre-release events, have books, and I am selling those books. A few people have asked me to send them copies, which I've done. But you can do nothing but pre-order it other than get it from me right now.
Awesome. And also want to give a shout out to our friends at TubeBuddy. If you have a
Yes.
YouTube channel like we do, that coffee's good. Tim, I know how much you love coffee in the morning.
Yeah.
And
Cheers.
but-
Come on,
but-
Jim. Let's
but
do
we're
a mug
using-
shot.
Yes, we'll do it. Okay, right. A mugshot. Everybody got a
Oh, yes. Cheers.
but TubeBuddy is we have the legend planned for our YouTube channel. So really excited about how we're gonna be able to use TubeBuddy to help our channel grow. We had Rob on the show last week, and I want to say hi to Kimberly, who's joined us as well. Thanks
Yes.
for joining us today.
Kim
And,
is actually with IBM.TV. Our friend Mark
Oh.
Lee hosts some shows over there, and we're actually going to be syndicating Shout Out Saturday on their social media channels for Shout Out Saturday for our Halloween
Wow.
episode this weekend. So
Oh
thanks for
my.
being here, Kim.
Wow.
Oh my, Halloween episode, Brian Shulman and Tim Sohn. That'll definitely be fun. I would definitely tune in for that.
I'll send you the promo video. It's
Oh
it's
my
hilarious.
Well, I'm assuming you guys are in space during part of it. That's just an assumption.
No, but stay
No?
tuned. I digress,
right.
though. Let's move on.
Yeah. So Russ, as you were writing this book as well, I'm kind of interested. Did you like intentionally set aside time every day? I mean, we see these movies like with these writers that they get writer's block. How did you go about the actually getting it done?
Well, it's interesting because the best advice I ever got when doing this is just get started, get moving, and just do it. And don't worry about not knowing enough or trying to learn. Just learn as you go, right? And just do it. And it is also in my book, there is a story about my journalism professor from Oregon State. And her whole thing with writing, when you get writer's block and you have those kind of issues, which everybody gets, is just do the next dumb thing. And I've taken that whole concept into life. When you get stuck, right? When you get befuddled, the name of my book, when you have challenges, just do the next dumb thing. Just move forward. Keep moving. And what happens is you get unstuck and things start moving and you get momentum and things get so much better. So I really had no idea how to write a book. So this is what I did. I just started writing and I just kept doing it. And did I write every day? Probably not every day, but I tried to do as much as I could on a regular basis. And some days I spent a whole lot more time than others. But the process of the book, and someone else gave me this great advice, I wrote and did not really read it or try to edit it or do things and critique myself until I got a whole bunch written. Then I started refining and doing things, because what happens is it's really easy to get stuck when you read something and go, oh, that's horrible. And then suddenly you don't want to write anything more. So I just kept going.
Oh wow, that's very cool. And we actually have
Awesome.
we have Kim wanting to know if maybe you could read a small section from the book. So we'll give you a chance to do that in a little bit, because maybe one of these next questions will lead to that.
That would be our first ever book reading on the Tim and Jim.
Yeah, yes. And Tim actually, Tim, were you actually a journalism major, or I know you?
I was a
worked in the-
journalism minor. I was
Okay.
actually a Spanish major. I originally intended to be a Spanish teacher in high school, but I joined the college newspaper and I worked in journalism for more than 10 years before diving into this whole crazy social media thing.
Que bueno.
That's really good. So it's funny how we all weave our way through. I was a music major, went on a music scholarship to Oregon State.
Wow.
And then I transferred. I'm just the right brain, crazy, creative type. And so then I ended up just basically going into communications. And I always joke I have a BS in speech communications. So, there you go.
Well, you fit in here well we're all crazy here. So
there you
well
go.
Right. So Russ, how can business owners take the principles of Befuddled to help them move forward? And if you want to, maybe there's a passage in the book, for the sake of our audiences, Kimberly's request, that you could read that might help as well.
Well, it's interesting because I have a lot of really good actionable steps. And one section, I talk about my 5 steps of connecting in chapter 2, which is be intentional. And I was going to talk about that anyway. But then basically the 5 steps of connection that I'm all about are: number 1, start. Okay. So it says making connections. There are 5 simple ways to make a connection. Number 1, start and move forward. That's the number 1 problem people have, is they don't get started. People get worried, they get stressed, they plan, they counter plan, they do all this stuff, and they never actually start. They have lack of confidence, whatever the reason is. Number 2, focus and be intentional. And we got to focus and be intentional about what we want to do, who we want to connect with, why are we connecting, what are we doing? Number 3 is be real and be friendly. So people want authenticity today. That's a huge thing. And you got to be real and you got to be friendly, because, friendly people make friends. If you're not friendly, you might have challenges there, but you're adding value to others by doing that. Number 4, be present, ask questions, and listen, right? Who likes somebody talking to them and looking over their shoulder or moving away or doing something all the time, right? I'm the first one to raise my hand. We all do that. And I catch myself, right? But you got to remember that people, it gives them more value when you're really focused on them. I have a super good friend that is the king of focus and intentionality. And when he is talking to you, you are 100% his focus, right?
Yeah.
And then number 5 is be consistent and repeat. When you're connecting, if you're not consistent, it's like getting married and you tell your wife you love her, and then you'll see her in 6 months, and every 6 months you check in. Well, you're not going to be married very long. And so the whole thing with that is be consistent with connection to build those relationships. And I just basically, I don't need to read all this, because basically I go through those steps on that. But that is a really, really big deal. And actually today I released a special episode of Marketing with Russ, aka #RussSelfie, that Jim was a guest on. And Tim, we're going to have to get you on there.
Would love that.
Yeah. And so, but it was all about focus. And I'll tell you without reading it, because I know the story. I'll just tell you real quick, a story from the book about focus, and that is sports. Okay. Intentionality in sports. That's where I learned a lot of my focus. I love sports all through my high school career, and I played football. So as a sophomore, I was quarterback. I got the starting job with the JV team, but I got to what they called swing to varsity. So now I'm a young guy. I've been watching varsity. Woo, big guys. I'm so excited. And suddenly I'm dressing down and playing with them, right? Well, I'm thinking that my job is to hold a clipboard, keep stats, and cheer them on, right? Basically, because I'm the young guy. So it's 4th quarter of the 2nd game of the season, and all of a sudden we're winning by quite a bit. And I hear the coach say, "Hedge, get in the game." And I'm like, well, I'm actually going in the game. So I go racing in there, and I am definitely befuddled, and I'm very excited, but I'm also really nervous all at the same time. So I get in the game. The coach signals in a play from the sideline. I'm so nervous, and we've tweaked him on JV a little bit. And so I call the wrong play. The coaches come unglued. They just are screaming and yelling. It was a pass play. And now I'm thinking, oh my goodness, now I have to pass the ball. And I'm even more nervous. So anyway, to make a long story longer, I drop back. I probably closed my eyes. I see the receiver break to the middle. I close my eyes, throw the ball. 30 yards later, he catches the ball down on the 10-yard line. We score. The crowd goes wild. They're announcing my name. Everything is great. But the coaches were not happy, because when I got in the game, I was so excited about just being in the game that I wasn't focused and intentional about what I was doing. Sometimes in life, we're so happy at just being in the game, we're not focused and intentional about what we're doing.
Wow.
And so that is what I learned from sports. There's a definite focus, there's a definite goal, and a definite purpose for what you're doing.
And you just made me think of something too, Russ. And I'd never thought of this before until you brought it up. Sports, in a sense, especially like you're talking about going from JV and varsity, that could be some of our first aspects of the imposter syndrome, because you're probably thinking, oh my gosh, what am I doing in the game right now? Like, I shouldn't be here. I'm not ready for this. These guys are older than me and everything else. I mean, that is crazy. I mean, but
Well,
what a great story.
and it's funny because, as a quarterback, you're the leader. I'll never forget the look on the team's face when I walked up to the huddle and I said, down, and all the team goes like at attention to listen to the play. And I go, do you guys have like a sweep at 8 pass? And I'm asking them this question. They're looking at me like, listen, rookie, just call the play. Let's get moving, man, because you're the quarterback, right? And so it was so funny. But, the thing is, we'll stumble into success in our life at times, but we will never have continual success and never have continual good things happen unless we're purposeful and unless we're intentional and focused on what we really need to do. So, yeah, I mean, I definitely, by the time I got to my next year of football, I was a little more focused on what I was supposed to be doing.
Wow. And that's some great, those 5 steps are, I mean, that's just great stuff. I think we all can, and it applies not in just business, but in life. I mean, yeah, I mean, that's probably
now more than ever.
Yeah, now more than ever. It probably keeps some people from divorce if they took some of those steps. But we're going to take a quick break here to have a word from our friends over at StreamYard, and we'll be right back.
And we're back on the Tim and Jim Show.
And I always have this.
And Jim is embarrassing me again. Thank you, Jim.
Tim,
Jim, one of these days, I'm going to make one of those for you.
I would like that, but I don't know how to do that. Chris Stone did that for us, and he did our intro video. So, Tim, you want to take question 3?
Absolutely. So, Russ, what are some steps that we can take to map out a path to success and living the life that we want?
Well, it's interesting. I think that everything starts with your foundation in life. I'm a very habitual and routine kind of guy, not because I'm so detailed and organized. Actually, I'm completely the opposite. I've learned that I have to overcome all my deficiencies, being right-brained and creative, by being, very specific and routine and forming good habits in my life. So I start my day the right way. And I think if you want to be successful to life and you want steps to get moving the right direction, it starts with your foundation. If you have a shaky foundation, your whole day is going to be shaky. If you're befuddled in the morning, you're going to be befuddled throughout the whole day if you don't get a handle on what you're doing. So this is the habit I've developed every morning before I get out of bed. When I wake up, first thing I tell myself is that I'm thankful. I'm thankful for God, for my beautiful wife, for my family, for all that I've been blessed with. Number 2, I say, I've got this. With God's help and with the people around me and the talents that I've been given, I can do it. I give myself a little pep talk. And then number 3, I tell myself, today's going to be awesome. And I've had people tell me, I can't say that. Well, that's okay, because I'm not telling people to do this. I'm giving you an idea of what I do to get myself going. So what's happened by doing that, when I tell myself today's going to be awesome, is I've formed a mindset already that I'm prepared for a great and awesome day. Now, let's face it. I mean, my kids used to tell me, Dad, everything is not always happy. And it's true. I'm the happy, upbeat guy, but things are not always happy. So what do we do when the unhappy and the bad things hit us, right? We get out of bed, we get moving, something hits us. Well, if we've started with a good mindset, if we've started with a positive attitude about today's going to be awesome, the day's going to be a whole lot better because we're filtering that through our mindset. Everybody has their filters, and mine is the positive filter. So, they say cup half full, cup half empty. Well, I'm the cup overflowing. And the first thing I'll tell you, if I'm in the hurricane with Jim and it destroys everything, first thing I'm going to say is, well, the good news is we're still alive. All right.
Yeah.
And sometimes people look at me and say, yeah, I don't want to hear the good news.
Right.
But that's just what I'm filtering it through. And that's where I'm coming from. So I think to be a success in life, you need to build that foundation. You need to start your day right. And you need to do it over and over and over and be consistent. Because if you're not, then the days you're going to be going like this. You're going to be on the roller coaster of life. Some days good, some days bad. And that doesn't mean that some days aren't better than others. But if we're filtering it through a positive mindset, we're going to keep a good attitude no matter what's going on.
Yeah, that is so cool. I mean, and I think too, right, Tim, more than ever, we need to
Yes.
have that positive mindset, especially
Yeah.
with everything that's going on.
And we have some people in our audience that are like Amy. Like the other day I reached out to Amy and there was a case of coronavirus at our kid's school. And I was like, Amy, and I was like freaking out. I sent her this message and she's like so positive and she has this whole mindset you're talking about. And she's such a great friend. And Brian Schulman, who's also watching, he has such a positive mindset, right? We're all going through things that there are certainly opportunities, right? Like me and Jim, we've been doing a lot of remote live producing and even things in life, we get to spend more time with our families and things like that, but there's certainly challenges. So yeah. I really appreciate you being here today, Russ, because this is such a relevant conversation right now.
Well, it is interesting because we have been through a crazy year, right? And I have so many friends and so many people that tell me, I just want 2020 to be over and start a new year. Well, I hate to break it to you, but 2021 is going to have bad stuff happen too. So I'm like, why waste the year we have left? I'm like thinking this is going to be the best fourth quarter ever, right? Yeah. I am ready to move forward and make great things happen. And so with that, just like when I started with COVID, I've had people tell me, wow, you've accomplished a lot of stuff. Well, it's not because I'm so amazing. It's because, I would like to think that I'm kind of amazing. But anyway, it's mostly because
we think you are.
Thank you. I've had a good mindset though. And I've moved forward and I've kept doing things. And there's been bumps in the road. With a new business, you guys both know, you have days when you're on top of the mountain, you're thinking, I'm awesome. Everything is great. And the next day you're thinking, what in the heck am I doing? Who wants to listen to me, right? Who wants to listen to me talk? So yeah, I mean, it's ups and downs, but all in all, I've been able to accomplish a lot of things and I've had a ton of fun doing it because it's really what I was meant to do. And I've done this for other companies over the years. And now I just get to do it for other people through my own company.
Right. And we have a question from Mark Lee. How much has the gig economy impacted people's path to success? I think that's a great question. I mean, what do you think, Russ?
Well, I think that everybody's always affected by things going on around them. Absolutely. But I think that we can, through an intentional positive mindset, we can succeed no matter what. I'm in the, when people ask me, well, what about this? What about that? Yeah. What about that? I mean, you're right. Those are valid concerns, valid things happening. But the bottom line is, what do you choose to do at that point? And that's why the subtitle of my book, Live the Life You Choose, because we have two major choices after things hit us. Life hits us, right? Life happens. We have two choices. What our attitude is. Chuck Swindoll says life is 10% of what happens to us and 90% of how we react to it, our attitude. And number two is, then what are we going to do? What action are we going to take, right? So a good attitude and what kind of action are we going to take in spite of that? I always think with the economy, it's interesting. We're coming into, this is not a political thing, but we're coming into to an election time. And what happens, it's interesting if you watch, it doesn't matter who wins and with this point, and that is everybody adjusts, the economy adjusts, people adjust over time. So things will change and everything will go different directions at times, but then we all adjust based on what's happening. And that's what I say with life. Let it hit you, take it head on, and then just adjust, make adjustments. We're in COVID. Oh, well, we'll go on Zoom, StreamYard, whatever, and we'll meet people all over the world and have more fun. So,
Yeah.
just adjust with what you got, with the hand you're dealt.
Yeah, and I think, my perspective on Mark's first question, he has another one as well, is I actually think that the gig economy has given us more opportunities as opposed to less. It allows us at times to create, as I can't remember the author, but these multiple streams of income, right? Because now there's things we can do on the side, whether it's like Tim and I, right? This whole idea of remote live stream producing would not have taken off to the level it had if it hadn't been for COVID. I mean, I'm
Yeah.
going to say
Yeah,
it,
absolutely.
and I think, but what it's also shown us is that this isn't something that's gonna go away, because now people realize, just like we are here today, that we can have these conversations online, without having to spend all this money traveling, or even from a production cost standpoint, right? We don't have to have all these high-end production studios, and so literally, this is, in a sense, I mean, I know we're not on IBM.TV, but we are truly
Not
have our
yet.
own show, right? We have our own TV show in a sense, and
Yeah. Well,
so, yeah, I mean, yeah, go ahead, Russ.
Oh, I'm sorry. I couldn't agree with you more, Jim. I mean, I would not have been able to have the time, or, I mean, I've learned so much. I've learned so much that I didn't know in this short amount of time. It's forced my hand to get into other things and do stuff and learn how to podcast, how to do videos, how to, you and I have talked about that. Everybody has their own way of doing it, but I've learned how to make things happen. And boy, I tell you, I mean, Jim, you and I have friends all over the world, and I'm
Mhm.
sure Tim, you do too, because of this. I mean, really, I
Yeah.
formed really, really good friendships with people all over the place, and it's been just a blessing, really, to get to know Jim better, and we've been able to become friends. And Tim, this is first time you and I get to talk, so we have lots of chats in the future, I can tell. But no,
Looking forward to it.
yeah, I just love people, and any way that I can help, encourage them, add value, whatever, I'm there.
Right, and, we've got one final well, actually, let's go back to his question. What are your thoughts on this, Tim? Because I always like to get your input as well on Mark's first question about the gig
Yeah,
economy.
thank you, Jim. The gig economy impacted people's paths to success. I think it really depends on the person, right? Like, and what that gig is and how successful you are. But like, as an example, for me, I started my business 7 years ago when I was a stay-at-home dad because I wanted to be able to stay home with at that time we just had Megan, our first child, and I wanted to be able to be home and spend that time with our with Megan, and now we have a second child and everything. But I think having a gig, whether it's a side hustle or if it's a full time, as your own business, the one thing I love about having my own business is that I have the flexibility that I can be at. Like, for example, we have trunk or treat tonight at 5:30, right? Maybe if I didn't have my own business, maybe I would be traveling back from New York City or New Jersey or something, like 2 hours. I just think it gives you so much more flexibility and freedom, and to be able to prioritize, especially if you want to like to prioritize your family or whatever your priorities are. It gives you so much flexibility, right, Russ?
Yeah, no, that's just it. I mean, I love the flexibility of, even in the business I was in before, being in sales and marketing, I've always had a lot of flexibility, but now even more because I call the shots. I mean, I
Yeah.
succeed or I fail based on my own actions. And what's really interesting too is I've accepted the mindset. John Maxwell talks about failing forward. I mean,
I
I'm
love
going
it.
to fail and I'm just going to keep moving. I'm going to learn. I'm going to fail and learn and fail and learn. And, things are going to happen, but I'm going to choose to keep a positive attitude, to live the life I want to live and keep moving forward.
Yeah, and I think that's so true, and I think, Mark's got one more question. A lot of people concerned about minority businesses going under. Is there better strategy that these companies should use? And I think it kinda goes back to what you've been talking about here today, Russ. I mean, it's all a choice for us, and we can all choose to be supportive of each other, and I think it kinda goes back to, whatever business you're in, you need to be the best you and the best business that you can be, and provide superior customer service, superior, products, and and it won't matter what kind of business you are, you will succeed. I think we get too caught up in this worrying about what the other guy's doing. I mean, I know, Tim, it happens to you, probably to you as well, Russ. People are always like, aren't you worried about competition? And it's like, no, because there's so many people that need help. I can't handle them all. So I would rather collaborate
now more than ever
with people, like you, like Russ, and several of the folks we got here watching today, and have them work with these people as opposed to worried about like, oh, I need all this business for myself.
Yeah, and I think that's so critical, is the sense of team and cooperation and helping and lifting each other up. We look at local economies, if we're looking at businesses, whether they're minority businesses or whatever, if we are concerned with helping people and being the best us we can be. This is what I've loved about this time of COVID. The people I've met have all wanted to work and collaborate together, even though there's a lot of similarities in what people do. But instead, they're trying to help each other. And I think when you if you want to lift yourself in your life, lift others up, help them.
Right. Yeah. I mean, so that, even that case, right? If you're concerned about minority businesses, what are you doing to help support them, right? Support your friends in the minority business community. That's how we can all start. And I think and let others know, right? It's all about building know, like, and trust. Russ, I know you're huge on networking. So as well as I do, and our friend D. Scott Smith, always talking about connecting people. I mean, and that's how we connected through
Yeah.
Scott.
Yeah. Well, and like-minded people come together, and you're right. When it all gets back to it, taking action, supporting people, helping people, that's what's going to be the solution. A little more kindness in our society would help too.
Yeah. I mean, Tim, what are your thoughts on this? Because you're in a rural area, so you see a lot of this.
Yes. I definitely agree. And so many things. What am I trying to say? I'm trying to say that like just the idea of collaboration, like during this time, like, and so many people connecting with each other and like around the world. It's just been amazing to do that. And is that what you were asking me, Jim? I'm like, I need more coffee or something. I don't know what's going on.
No, I mean, no, I think you're on the right track. It's the fact that we got to help each other, because everyone is, I mean,
yeah,
we can be positive, right? We've talked about this before. It doesn't mean we don't have challenges.
Right,
don't think that positive people don't have challenges. It's that we're just choosing not to be the victims of our circumstance, I guess is how I would put it. Because, I could sit here and wallow in my basement and think that nothing's going to change, but the only person that can change it is the guy in the mirror. And I think, like I've said before, the Marine Corps helped me, and that I know I'm going to run into challenges. And, we like to say we adapt and overcome, right? Like Russ said, something happens, you're going to fail forward, learn from your mistakes, right? I used to joke, how did I not get in trouble in the Marine Corps? One, if I made a mistake, I'd own up to it. And two, never make the same mistake twice. That's always been my philosophy.
Yeah.
Because if you make it again, you're like, dummy, you knew that.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, it's expanded our reach through all of this. And, you were bringing up, back to flexibility and helping people all over the world. It's really, to me, what's a ton of fun is this morning, 7:30 my time, I was in India. And now I'm in Atlanta, Georgia, and in Pennsylvania at the same time. And, then I can be over in Australia, down in Mexico, over in Dublin, Ireland. Who knows?
And you're on LinkedIn, you're on Twitter, you're on YouTube and Facebook all at the same time.
Yep.
And we've got people watching from all over as well. I mean, Amy's in California. Is Linda in New York, or
Linda's in Roxbury, Connecticut?
Connecticut, yeah. I knew it was up there in the Northeast. I think you guys are going to get snow from Zeta when it cools off and hits that cold air up there.
So no snow allowed.
No snow allowed. Yeah,
denied.
My wife would like this.
Sorry,
but so Russ, as we start to wrap up here, best place to connect with you, right, I guess, is russhedge.com. And I did drop a link to your book in the comments. So if you folks want to order it, go ahead and get it ordered. I don't know, Russ, if you've got any sort of way for people to get an autograph book if they want that. Maybe that could be part of your marketing plan if you haven't done that yet.
Yeah, I've actually been doing a lot of autographing books just because people, when they get one from me, they like that. Not that it's worth a lot right now, but maybe someday. But yeah, if you go to my russhedge.com website, two things. First of all, you can, each week, I'm giving away a free book. Down at the bottom of my landing page, scroll down and you can enter your email to enter a drawing to a chance to win a free book. And also, if you want to just order a book from me, you can. You can give me your email and you can send me a message. You'll just have to send me a message with your address right now. But I have a direct pay link on my website that you can actually pay, and it tells you how much the book is. The book is $11.99 and it's $8 for shipping and handling in the US. So you can just pay that and I'll send it to you. So yeah, and definitely russhedge.com is the best source. I am crazy all over social media, but all the links to my social media are on my website. So that's the easiest way not to have to go to place to place to place. You can just click all in one spot.
And they can actually make a connect with you there if they want to actually make an appointment to get is it a 15-minute call with you, right?
A half hour. Yeah. I
hour.
would love to connect, and it is completely free. I mean, because I'm all about helping you. And then we decide where we go from there. But I think that's, Jim and I initially linked up on a couple half-hour calls, and we've talked and got to know each other. And, really what I'm all about is connecting with you and hearing about you. I don't want to try to sell you. I don't want to try to do much. So I want to hear about you. Eventually, if we work together, that's great. All things work for the good at some point, and they'll come together. But yeah, I'd love just to get to know people.
Yep, absolutely. So, Tim, any final thoughts as we wrap up this week's episode?
Yes, thank you so much for being on the show, Russ. This is such an amazing conversation, especially in these times we are in. For future viewers, the coronavirus is going on right now. And so thank you. I love this conversation. Mindset is definitely something I need to work on now more than ever. And just appreciate you being here and spending this 38 minutes with us.
Well, thank you.
And Tim, I know maybe you were a little befuddled, but if you want to choose the life you want, Russ has got the solution for you. So make sure you check that out. And you see what I did there, Tim?
Yes, that was very nice.
And next week, we're very excited with our guest, which will be Kelly Noble Mirabella, who I can't say enough good about. Not only is she, I would call her the chatbot queen, but if it wasn't because of Kelly, I would not probably be sitting on this microphone next to Tim today. She created a Facebook Live challenge to get live on Facebook right after social media marketing world in 2018. Took that challenge, got over that fear of being on live video, and 100+ episodes later, here I am with my good friend Tim and my new friend Russ, having a great time talking about Russ's amazing new book. So we are glad that you all joined us. If you joined us live or if you're joining us on replay, please leave us some comments. We love our folks that are always coming and watching us. And thank you again, Russ. Good luck with the book. We're very excited for you. And that's all I got, Tim.
And it looks like Mark Lee wants to have you on his show on IBM.TV if you're game, Russ.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And I'm super excited. I just want to say one last thing, and that is, the pre-release events I'm having are local because I have to have the books and be there. But actually on the 24th of November is the official online release of my book, both the book and the ebook. That day, the ebook will only be 99 cents. I'm having a celebration online, and it was from my good friend Wendy in Dublin, Ireland, that gave me the idea. We're going to do it at 7 a.m. my time, so you could extrapolate that out to whatever your time is. And we're going to get on for about 15 minutes, celebrate. Everybody's going to get a copy of the ebook. we're gonna record it and have a great time and splash it all over social media. But it's going to be just a ton of fun to celebrate the actual release date of the book. So if you're interested, you can go to russhedge.com, email me, and I will make sure you get on the list to get the Zoom link.
Awesome. And Russ, feel free if you want to drop the link in our in the show comments afterwards. We're more than happy to have you do that. Very excited for you. Thank you so much for joining us, and we'll see you all next week. Take care.
Bye.
Bye, everyone.